Hey guys and gals, Jim back here, and we're getting away from the Apollo stuff since there's nothing going on for the next few days as far as the Apollo 11 50th anniversary went. So we're getting to my Klingon K'tinga, the 350 scale with lights. First off, I got it mounted on the base. Everything's finished up. I got a couple Klingon symbols, the emblems I printed out and stuck on there. Reason you might ask, I got on such a large base, I take these places, for instance, my Ace Hardware. I get a lot of my supplies as far as hobby plywood, balsa wood, brass tubing for my support rods, things like that. My Ace Hardware carries that type of stuff, so they show a lot of interest with me. So once in a while I'll take one of these big models like my big Enterprise or something like that and put them on display there for an afternoon here and there and stuff. And first thing you don't want is with a small base that doesn't have a lot of sturdiness to it, you know, balance and stuff. I like mine to be bottom heavy, so if somebody bumps the table or whatever they're sitting on, it's not going to tip over and cause any problems with the model and stuff like that. So also, plus I raise it high enough, I got it pretty much set in the same level as my 350 Enterprise, so when they sit side by side on display, you know, it kind of looks more realistic than having one down low and one up high and stuff like that. So that's the reason I go with such big bases and stuff. And plus I mount, as far as underneath, I mount my circuit boards in my bases rather than in the models. That way if something goes wrong with the circuit board, I can pop it out and make a new one, put it back in and stuff, as I do make my own circuit boards, as you all know. So we already did the overall video on this with the finished model with the paintwork and everything like that, so this is pretty much just the lighting. Some of it's not going to show up because these models are hard to shoot a video no matter what kind of equipment you use. I don't have a Hollywood movie studio, so you got to get the kind of, you know, a lot of people complain that seen my videos, my neighbors and friends and stuff, oh, it looks real nice, we see the lights but we don't see the model, or else they see the model but they don't see the lights. So I try to find a happy medium. So it's kind of late afternoon. It's been a kind of cloudy, gloomy day. I got a little bit of daylight coming through my front window and stuff and that. But I thought, okay, I'm going to shoot this and get over with. You know, everything might not show up 100% brightness, but it's because it's still a little light in the room. But it'll have to suffice, you know. But anyway, we'll start in the front. Now I did all my own lighting. I added extra LEDs and everything to it. So that I didn't use, this is strictly the box kit. I didn't use the extra lighting kit with the photo etch or the red clear pieces. I didn't use any clear pieces on any of this, on the head or anything, or back here. I used crystal clear to fill them in, and it pretty much helps to draw the light to them, you know, almost like as if you had fiber optics or that. Only reason I completely assembled my model 100%, small detail parts and everything, and then I masked everything entirely off and did all the paintwork and stuff as the model was complete. That way I didn't have to worry about going back and fixing any light leaks, or if there were some gaps or something, filling them in, resanding, and have to repaint something. I prefer to build the model, other than the big 350 refit Enterprise and the TOS Enterprise, which were built in sub-assemblies and completed and then assembled and everything. This one I built it 100% right off the bat. So all the lighting was done, you know, the kit was fully assembled, any little gaps or light leaks were filled in, and then I proceeded to do my paintwork once I was happy with everything else. So, but here we got our, you know, the front, the head and everything and all that. And like I said, I used crystal clear. And these ships, the Klingon ships, were not as brightly lit as the you know, the Starfleet ships and stuff. So I wanted things to be a little bit more subdued and all that. And also, you know, I still got full brightness as far as I'm running off a 12-volt plug-in and things like that. Another thing, I've seen some guys recently that they're building a smaller model and the lights are too bright, so they want to dim them. They're under the impression you got to put an LED or a resistor, an extra resistor, to dim down each LED. You don't have to do that. If you want to do, like, say, a starship and dim all the windows together, you only need one resistor at your power coming in. You don't have to put a resistor on each set of LED strip tape, or LED tape or whatever, or each LED. Same with if you're doing thrusters and stuff, you can do all the thrusters and just add one extra resistor, and it's going to dim them down to where you want it. Just keep playing around. The higher value you go, the dimmer it's going to make it and stuff. Just make sure you don't go to a lower value and you start popping your LEDs, because that will happen. There are requirements as far as like your red, greens, and yellows, colors like that. You need a 510. If you're running off of 12 volts, you need a 510 ohm resistor. If you're running 12 volts and you're doing the windows with like white LEDs, or if you're using blue LEDs for like engine effects, those all require a 470 ohm resistor to run off of 12 volts. Anything smaller in ohms than those, it'll start popping your LEDs on you. So just to let you know, but you can run all your windows and dim them down at the end with one LED. I did that on my Star Destroyer, because the fiber optics, all the windows, the fiber optics that were drilled in and stuff, everything was too bright. So I maybe have like 6 or 7 tubes with the fiber optics running. All I did was run one resistor to the main power going to all of those, and it dimmed the complete model the way I wanted to. And then the engines, I could control the brightness on the engines the same way, and that's all you need. You don't have to put an extra resistor on each individual, lighting, strip and stuff like that. So just a little short bit of information there for you guys. But I got the head done up there. Okay, now I didn't do nothing fancy as far as a firing torpedo. I build these models once they go up on display. It's not like I gotta come back and be pushing buttons and playing with them like a toy. They're built, they're on display. Once I turn it on, if somebody comes over and I want to, show off my models on display, I turn everything on and it stays on. And same like my Enterprise. It's either warp mode or the amber deflector dish. It's not, I'm not going through the sequence. To me, unless you're going to be playing around with it and stuff, and you're looking for maybe putting it to show and getting all kind of awards because all the bells and whistles, that's fine. But in my book, once I turn it on, there's other guys feel the same way. Once I turn it on, it's on for display. It's going to stay that way. I'm not going to keep getting up out of my chair or reaching around to get up into shelving and start pushing buttons and stuff. So, but I've got my model hooked up. I got one switch turns on all the windows and the engines and stuff, and then I got another switch which will fire up the now I got that resistor down real dim, so it's kind of in scale. If it's too bright, it's going to look like a flashlight. I know the camera washes it out and everything, but I got an extra resistor on there to dim it down to my likeness. If I took that resistor off right now, it'd be like you're looking at the sun even from the side. So I got that dimmed down. I got it hooked to a toggle switch so I can turn that one off. And when I flip the toggle switch, it'll turn the back one off. I got a push button. I didn't have a three-way toggle, so I just got a push button to turn them off complete. So, but that's that. And then as far as my navigation lights, the one on the bottom and the one on the top, those I got, they're dead nuts timed in a movie. Now I've watched the movie several times. I've got a big TV. It's a large screen. I've got it's a Blu-ray, the whole 9 yards. I did not see that light ramping up, nor did a lot of the people that I hang with and stuff like that. People I talk to, my friends or neighbors that seen it. We did not see that light ramping up. I'm pretty sure on the Kronos one that was in Star Trek: The Undiscovered Country, that one had a little bit of a ramp up to it where it kind of come on, brightened up, and then went back off, real slowly. But this one, if I want, like I said, I mount my circuit boards underneath, I can easily splice into those navigation lights, replace the circuit board with one that ramps up and ramps down, kind of format deal. But I got them timed exactly. What I do is when I set up build one of my circuit boards for certain things, or like my refit with the strobes, I do a 20-second time with my stopwatch. I time the lights for 20 seconds. I count the number of times they come on and come off, go off in a 20-second time span. Then when I build my circuit board, I just switch out resistors or components, whichever be the case, and I can get my lights dead nuts on accurate. I see a lot of circuit boards out there where things are like way too fast. I mean, it's like, And it makes it look more out of scale. And sometimes too, when you're working with a smaller scale, even if stuff might be timed to the movie model, don't forget those are bigger models. So you go things with, you keep things in scale. So if they are going a little bit faster, say like on an 8-foot Enterprise reef-foot model that they use for filming, it looks in place. But when you get down to a little 2 or 3-foot model and it's going like a bat out of hell, it kind of makes it look out of scale. And actually, the main thing on the big reef-foot Enterprise that I see on a lot of aftermarket circuit boards is those strobes, man, they're going like way too quick. It's almost like they don't have a time span in between where they shut down. It's like, pop, 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 and it shouldn't be like that. There should be almost like a 3 or 4 second delay or something, between times. But another thing too, I noticed on the refit, the navigation light, for every 2 times the navigation lights come on, the strobe light flashes once. So that's another way you can get things set pretty good if you build your own circuit boards. As far as my front grill work over there, I got that. I use Scotch-Brite on the clear part to scuff it up. You don't see scuff marks when the light shines through. Right now, it's kind of enhanced and really blown up brightly because of the filming with the camera and stuff. But those are fairly dim and stuff too. You can't see the hot spots in person. The camera picks them up though, as usual it does with other things. My bulkhead lighting did the same thing. I just used the 2 LEDs like you would have used if you used a kit lighting kit. But I didn't use the clear plastic pieces and stuff like some people do. I just filled those in with crystal clear also, and they help draw the light to them. And again, like I said, you don't want those overly bright because these Klingon ships, when you watch the movies, they're a lot darker, more sinister looking, and not as brightly lit as, say, the Enterprise or, any of the Federation ships would be. So on the top, I've got my 2 little floodlight fan effects highlighting the Klingon markings and stuff. And like I said, right now it's kind of bright, but I actually wanted to, be able to see the model and not just a bunch of lights. And, well, I wonder what that is. All we see is lights. It's like a UFO at pitch black of the midnight, hours. So, but I'm happy with the way those came out. That one's got a little bit more light shining through it and stuff from the open door and the room lighting. So it's not showing up as clear, but it's all there. Underneath is going to be kind of hard because you need it to be real dark, but we do have the little floodlight effects that are fanning out towards the back. And I'm going to lose a little bit of focus now, but when it's really dark, those really pop real nice and stuff. Maybe we get it turned around and film it from a different angle and stuff. Now, as far as my the side, there you can pick up there the nice fanned out effect coming all the way out to the edge and stuff. And up the side, those are the standard, those are the clear kit pieces in there. And I just got the 1 LED. I didn't do no extras on the front or nothing edge like that because in the movie they showed a close-up of one of the the nacelles and everything, and that's actually just a separate model, built to real large proportions. And if you really want to get technical and start nitpicking, when they showed that full-blown nacelle with all the little twinkle lights, the little lighting in between the little greebles and stuff, that actually had Aztecing on there. So if you want to get technical, but right, you should go ahead and do Aztecing on these nacelles and stuff. And I think there's probably Aztecing on other parts of the ship. Back there, those floodlights, I didn't see anywhere in the movie where they were shining back on that bulkhead. If you want to do it that way, that's fine. But when you do them little lights on the side, all they are is marker lights that pretty much light up the back of the head, so they know where the front of the ship and the back is. Again, I got the little windows. That's a clear piece with a red LED in there. That was a pain in the neck masking those little tiny windows because they're only probably about they're probably about maybe a 64th tall and a couple 32nds wide. They're very tiny. You can barely make them out on the little clear plastic part, but they are molded in there. So that was a lot of fun masking those, but they turned out okay and everything. Again, I got the lights on the engine part over there. We got our tail lights and stuff, and there you can kind of pick up more of the light that's going to be shining on the underside and that there and stuff. And I may come back and do another video with a lot darker room lighting and stuff, but there you're picking it up there, so you know it's there. It's just the way the light, the outdoor lights hitting it, the room lighting and everything for now. So there's those two whatever, the tail lights on the back end of the nacelles, the inner sides of the nacelles got them, the two lights in the back, one on each side of the shuttle bay. Now on the engines back here, I got flickering LEDs in there. Basically what I did, I sanded those clear parts down. I filled them with fiber fill to get rid of the hot spots. I know they're picking up pretty much now, but they're a real nice deep red. You can't really see the hot spot, and actually the LED falls in between those little up and down dividers there and stuff. So it's turned out pretty nice. Now watching the movie too, I know they got an aftermarket photo etch for the shuttle bay. It comes with mesh screen work for those. And the studio model, I didn't see, no matter how many pictures I looked up, and that they did not have any mesh work in there. They pretty much what they had when you turn this off, they're just white plastic, just like they look just like the studio model, and turn everything back on. Now, like I told you, I got my front and rear photon torpedo tubes. I got them lit separately. They're on a switch, so I got the front one on now. I can switch over, turn on the back one, same thing. And I sculpted up those plastic parts too. And like I said, you know, if I want, I can always go in there. I can put a circuit board and do the firing effect. But like I said, when I turn it on, pretty much it stays on that way. It's not like I'm going to be getting up and down, reaching up on a shelf and be turning things on like a kid's toy and playing with it and stuff. So, but it's pretty much that, you know, a little bit more once over up top there and stuff, and all that. The light's hitting this side more, so that one's not showing up. But anyway, I got those nice fanned out effects up there coming up on the Klingon emblem and stuff. We already did the paint work and stuff like that, so there's an overall view looking from the back all the way up to the head and things. On the bottom, I got both of those LEDs for the navs are resisted the same way, so they're the same brightness. I did dim them down because again, they were way too bright for this scale of model, so I wanted to tone them down so it didn't look like a big red flashlight coming on, you know, and blinking on and off. It was kind of it was casting a lot of brightness on other parts of the model, and I didn't want it to be casting any like reflections along the top of the neck, you know, and things like that. So and that's just the clear part that goes over that LED, and I scuffed that up too. And then once I finished the model and everything was sprayed down with dull coat, it kind of toned it down quite a bit too. And same thing with that front grille clear part, that's scuffed up with Scotch-Brite, real fine grit, and it's you know, it's like a milky white. I don't have any sheet styrene or paper behind it. And then once I completed the model and sprayed it with dull coat, that helped tone everything down too. There's one of the lights. Now you can see it better the way I got it turned, and might be able to pick up better on the underside. And I still got too much room lighting coming from underneath and everything, but you guys you know, seen plenty of them and stuff and all that. What else was there? Another thing too, I didn't do the windows on the back of the head there. I didn't do the windows above the shuttle bay, and I didn't do the shuttle bay only because what did you see this ship in Star Trek the motion picture? It was maybe the first couple minutes, the scenes with the ship, and that was pretty much it because they all got destroyed. Well, I didn't do none of that because they actually didn't show none of that stuff, you know, detailed in the movie. It was pretty much just like you see there and all that, and there was no windows lit up on the back. The shuttle bay wasn't open and lit. I mean, it looks cool, don't get me wrong, you know, everybody builds the model to their liking and stuff, but it wasn't there in the movie, so I didn't include it in my model kit. The same with those recreation deck windows back there on the back of the head on the upper part of the neck. I didn't do those because they weren't shown in the movie as being lit. Other than that, you know, like I said, there, you can see the fan out. It's a lot brighter when the room is nice and dark in the evening with no lights on whatsoever and the TV going. Man, it looks really terrific and stuff. So, but let's see if we can't get a little bit better, depending on the darkness and stuff. It's just kind of hard because those are fanning out across a big area and stuff back there. But with the room lighting, you know, and like I said, if I do it in the dark, it's going to be, oh, that's cool. What are all the lights for? The model being it's a darker color than the Enterprise, you don't really see it. But that's pretty much my Klingon 350 at Klingon K'tinga and all that. I'm happy with the way it turned out. Even my side windows, you know, I didn't use any of the photo etch on that. Like I said, I didn't buy that kit because it's not needed. These windows are pretty much molded the same as the photo etch parts, and those photo etch parts wouldn't have sat properly, and on here they would have covered up a lot of the raised detail and stuff because of the way they were made. So you don't really need them. It's not necessary. And we turn it around to the windows on the side where the light ain't hitting it as bad, and you can see it's got a pretty nice effect to it. And everything doesn't really show too many hot spots and all that, and all that. I probably could have put another, you know, 1 or 2 LEDs in there to make it a little brighter. But like I says, even in the movie, you didn't see those windows really pronouncedly lit like they were really popping. You know, the Klingon ships are more a darker, you know, sinister look to them and stuff, kind of, you know, mysteriousness to them and stuff like that. So, but anyway, like I said, the main thing to me was these windows up on the bridge. It's kind of like the refit. If you don't get that little registry spotlight to light up that registry with that little fanned out effect, that kind of makes or breaks that ship along with the deflector dish. Where on this ship, to me it's kind of like these windows up here. That's one of the first things, if you got it facing forward, people come up to it, that's one of the first things they see. And I know I've seen some guys where they build it and they just leave the whole thing lit up like a red ring around there, which is incorrect. In fact, in the movie, if you notice, they've even got a couple windows on the sides, which you only see it in the movie and that's it, and you don't see it on every shot that they do in the first couple minutes. It's only like when they're first approaching and you first see them on screen and everything like that. So, but that's my 350 K'tinga, and like I said, I may do another video down the line, you know, when it's a lot darker in the room, maybe later this evening or something, or in the next few weeks, and eventually I may do a video with this one sitting next to the Enterprise, and also another one with this and the Klingon Bird of Prey, the 350 scale, sitting next to one another too. So for now, that's it. I'm happy with the way things turned out and all that. And hey, any of you guys, I've got a lot of comments of guys asking me questions and saying they picked up the kit, but I haven't seen no videos. If you guys are building them, even if you're just building it out of box, nothing fancy, just using the kit lighting and stuff, you know, put up some videos, man. We enjoy seeing your work just as much as you guys enjoy seeing ours. So till the next time, you guys take care, and we'll be talking to you. Thanks to all my subscribers. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for hitting the like button, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a good one. Take care. Bye.